You know that smartphone in your hand? It's not just one computer. Nope. Tucked away inside, there's another secret one. It's a really powerful processor that you never see, you never touch, but it's the entire reason your phone can connect to, well, anything.
So let me ask you something kind of scary. Could a hacker from miles away crash your phone with a single completely invisible message? It's a wild question, but it gets right to the heart of what we're talking about today. Because that secret computer inside your phone, it's always listening, and that makes it a potential doorway for attackers.
So what is this thing? Well, say hello to the baseband processor. The easiest way to think of it is as your phone's own dedicated modem. It handles literally all of the communication with cell towers. It's totally separate from the main brain of your phone that runs all your apps, and it really does operate in its own little isolated world. And here's the kicker. Because this processor's job is to connect to the network, it has to be on, all the time, just listening for a signal. And that means its software, its firmware, is constantly exposed. This makes it a huge target for really sophisticated attacks that can be sent silently, right over the air. Trying to find vulnerabilities inside this closed-off secret piece of hardware? It's a lot like a classic detective story, a locked room mystery. The bugs are hidden deep inside, and security researchers have to figure out how to even get through the door. Now, the specific kind of bug we're hunting for is called a stateful vulnerability. And this isn't some simple, obvious flaw. No way. This kind of bug only shows up if the phone is in a very, very specific state. If a whole bunch of conditions are met in the absolute perfect sequence. It's the ultimate lockpicking challenge for a hacker. Just imagine a malicious message trying to run this gauntlet. First, the phone has to be in an active 5G connection process. Then it has to be connected to a base station. Then it has to have its security checks passed. It's only after all of that happens that the message can reach the part of the code where the bug is hiding. If even one of those first steps fails, the attack goes nowhere. The bug is never triggered. And that right there is exactly why older security tools have had such a hard time with this. They're basically just standing outside trying millions of random keys on that first locked door. They have no way to control the internal state of the baseband processor to line up all those conditions and unlock the path.
But what if there was a new kind of detective on the scene, one that didn't need to pick the locks because it had a master key?
Well, say hello to LORIS. It's a groundbreaking new framework that was designed to solve this exact locked room mystery. The secret sauce is right in the name. It's state-aware. And what that really means is LORIS knows how to get inside and manipulate the internal state of the basebands directly. I mean, this comparison says it all, doesn't it? Instead of trying to send this long, complicated sequence of messages hoping to get the baseband into just the right state, LORIS does something way, way smarter. It reaches directly into the processor's memory and just sets the conditions it needs. It basically teleports past all the locked doors and appears right in the room it wants to investigate. So how does it pull this off? Well, first, it zeroes in on just one communication task at a time to stay focused. Then, using this really clever technique called symbolic execution, it finds all the key variables that act like on-off switches for different parts of the code. It maps out how all these switches work together, calculates the exact combination it needs to flip to reach some deep hidden code, and then it crafts the perfect message to go in and test it. It's brilliant. Okay, so we've got this incredible new detective with a revolutionary technique. The big question is, what did it actually find? What was hiding behind those locked doors all this time? 7. LORIS uncovered 7 brand new, previously unknown vulnerabilities, and every single one of them could be exploited by an attacker sending messages right over the air. And we're not talking about small stuff here. The impact of these bugs is significant. They ranged from high to critical severity and could lead to denial of service, which basically means crashing your phone's connection, or even remote code execution. And this wasn't on some obscure old phone. Nope, these bugs affected basebands used in popular phones from Google and Samsung. Okay, that sounds super technical, right? Let me translate. One of the nastiest bugs works by tricking a tiny little counter that's supposed to keep track of a message's length. An attacker can send a special value that makes this counter overflow, kind of like a car's odometer rolling over from 999 back to 000. This completely fools a security check and lets the attacker write way more data into memory than they're supposed to, causing a crash. And this is what that looks like in the real world. An attacker crafts one of these malicious messages, sends it over the airwaves, and it hits the baseband processor directly. The result?
It could crash your phone's cellular connection or even force the whole device to reboot itself.
And I really want to be clear here. This isn't just a theory. This isn't a what if. The researchers proved it. They took their findings, set up a fake cell tower, sent these exact attack messages to real off-the-shelf smartphones, and watched them crash and reboot. But, finding all these scary bugs is really only half the story. The real goal, the whole point of this kind of detective work, is to get them fixed and to make the technology we all rely on safer for everybody. And the good news is, the impact here was huge. The researchers responsibly disclosed everything they found to the companies. The vendors confirmed all the vulnerabilities, and 5 of them have already been patched and given official security ID numbers. What's more, LORIS is now open source, which means the entire security community can use this new super detective to find and fix even more bugs. So when you boil it all down, the crucial point is this. This kind of deep, super technical security research isn't just an academic exercise. It has a direct, positive impact on all of us, strengthening the security of the devices we carry around in our pockets every single day. And that kind of leaves you with one last big question, doesn't it? Our phones, our cars, all our smart devices, they are filled with these complex, secret components. This research managed to pick the lock on one really important door, but it just makes you wonder how many other locked rooms are still out there, just waiting to be discovered.